So she's legal.
Yeah.
We're not coming.
Yes, she's good.
The question I have, what about people with swimming pools?
If you go back to your 2013 water allocations that you had then, the goal is to get you to reduce down by 25%, I'll say customer-wise, but what Pete has said here it is, as a district, as a community, we have to overall reduce by 25%.
Right, because we have a swimming pool, but our swimming pool is also used as secondary in case of a fire.
Did you make your goals last year with your water?
Well, as far as I know, we did.
Okay, well then you're going to be okay again
Yeah,
this year.
because they're just making double sure, because the CAL FIRE, I talked to CAL FIRE, I said, because you have people with swimming pools, they use them as just in case as a secondary source of water to fight the fires.
One of the things I might suggest is that you go and get your 2013 consumption and then say, okay, and see how you're doing, then you'll know you're in compliance and you'll feel good about it.
I think he's asking, can you fill it at all? There's no prohibition
Right.
on that.
No, that's what I said, yeah, the pool,
There's no
20.
restriction.
Because we just emptied the swimming pool right now because in the winter time, but now we're ready to go. Okay, thank you.
As long as you're meeting your 25% reduction.
I mean, that's
Based on the
right.
2013
Right,
numbers,
there's a way of cutting the meter off.
Use it the rest of the
you might use it all in 1 month, man.
The only things that are prohibited are excessive irrigation that causes runoff, washing down sidewalks, driveways, all of that with water, using a bunch of water to flush off concrete just to make it pretty. And then the state requirements are the irrigating around a rainstorm. You know, you want to turn your irrigation off.
So we have a first and a second, so I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the conservation measure? Aye. Got a unanimous vote? Okay, moving on. 5B, existing capital improvement project. This is in here for informational purposes only. There's really not discussion here. This last capital improvement plan developed by the district. There is no evidence that the plan was ever adopted by the board. Staff will review the items in the plan one by one for understanding and input by the board. I really appreciate the information. If I'm not mistaken, we have that on the agenda as a special meeting. If I'm not, because we were talking about a special meeting last month, and pardon me?
I don't think that was budget, was it?
No, we had a special project.
I'm sorry.
We were talking about what projects that we wanted to put into place so that we could set some benchmarks of key accomplishments for next year. And I think so.
It's twofold, because there were priorities on a district-wide basis, and then there are capital improvements. It's two separate things, because there might be the Saturday was or whatever the special meeting is to develop priorities from the board, which might be dealing with the water supply issue, or dealing with the place of use, or dealing with
Well, also the budget has to be.
right. But this is specific to just capital improvements, and the first step in that is going through any capital improvement projects that we've had on the books from before, which is what we have here. Because the capital improvement projects that you have on your books are what is supposed to drive your rates. You've got to get enough money to be able to do these things, or to at least be able to take on debt if you're going to borrow money to do it, and also to be able to establish connection fees for the future. Let's just say in the far future that a second storage tank is needed somewhere to provide more storage in one part of the system. Initially, there were parts of the system where they had planned on 2 water tanks on the same property. They've got 2 booster pumps that are already there. They had planned on 2 water tanks. Well, you don't charge existing customers for that new tank, or the entire cost of that new tank that serves just new demand in the future. You've got to have, if you've got capacity-related projects, you have them on your capital improvement plan, and then you make sure that they're covered by a connection fee so existing customers don't pay for it all.
In progress now, don't we have, you're finishing up the SCADA, and then we have the metering project, which that's the only things that we're actually going ahead with other than the service lines that are part of the grant situation. But of our capital things that will, and basically our rate survey thing, which is on hold anyway. So those are the things that are in progress at this point.
Yeah, the intake booster, the barge second booster pump is in progress. We purchased the
We have the pump
equipment
now.
that's going to go on the budget for next year, just due to timing. But not all of the projects that have occurred showed up on this list either. There are other things that got constructed.
I'm just saying, things
outside
we
of
have
this.
approved that aren't completed yet would be the things I just
Right.
discussed.
Yes. So just for clarity, there's some miscellaneous items on the last page of this that were just written down here. I used the format of the old spreadsheet, and it didn't convert well from 1993, Excel 93 or something like that, so you can just see them listed here. But these are projects for consideration when we update this, and we intend to update this list this year. The board's goal is to have it be late this summer. We'll have the maintenance plan on one side, we'll have this capital improvement plan on the other. We're in the process of documenting the projects that are remaining on this, verifying their cost, verifying the need, and then we've got some projects that we have that are not on this list. Upgrade underwater items at the intake, the controls for the baskets, the tube, the actual casing for the pumps are deteriorated. And so that all needs to be designed and environmental review done. So next time the lake level goes down, those can be addressed. Upgrade pump, intake pump electrical controls. Those are original, and they're pretty well stressed out and difficult to maintain and troubleshoot just because of their condition. And upgrade the intake pump control valves and air vacuum valves. So when we were standing out there at the intake site, we looked down in that vault, and we talked about the fact that those valves were pretty much original. One of them is no longer the manufacturer no longer is in service, so you have the manufacturer parts for it. And those are going to be a critical issue. Those valves have to operate when that thing comes on, or you got pump failure. Intake pump casing, I'm sorry, that's the other underwater thing. I wanted to separate that out. Again, you're not approving this list at this point, just know that these things are going to show up on a future list. Replace intake casing, that's that thin wall pipe that's around the existing pumps that go down the side of the lake. Intake extension to 615 feet above sea level. That's a big project that has never been designed. There's been some initial estimates done on it, but that would put those fixed pumps all the way down at minimum pool. Right now, we have to operate with the float pumps anything below 710, 705 feet in elevation. So this would be considering extending that down to the bottom. Boardroom cooling system.
I'll give you 5 grand.
It's just on there. It's not that we got to do it, but I'm kind of enjoying this today. Heating. And then the last one is groundwater wells for emergency supply. We talked about the fact that the wells that we have in place will meet our wintertime demand, and they will meet a good part of our summertime demand. But during the peak summer, if we did not have any water from Lake McClure, and if we could not get our customers to reduce by 50%, then we are going to be stressed on the amount of water from the wells. So that's just for consideration.
Does your budget have, maintenance budget for the district have $5,000 to put in a split ductless unit, 5-ton heat pump in there?
Not the maintenance. We're pretty tapped out on, I mean, we're doing okay on the budget, but we don't have it as a project.
I mean, a $4 or $5
And we don't,
investment
we
in ductless heat pump.
You tell me, it's on the list. I mean, if we want to prioritize it and get it done, I can get specifications and it's not in the capital budget. It would typically, what the board would do is we would have it as a separate agenda item to add it and approve it for purchase. So if we want to have that on the next agenda related to this discussion, we can put it on there if the board wants to.
Actually, I'm not suffering, but, you know, but it's not hot yet either. And where are we gonna go this summer when it gets hot?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's
the
just
ductless unit is painless to install and
it's just the priorities.
heats and cools and.
I would love to have a little pressure.
In the accounts payable, you have your, Mr. Tampa, you have your consulting company consulting the office. You get a check for $8,230, and we got a check for Kennedy James Consultants for $31,312.80.
Ma'am, I'm going to ask that you hold those questions, and if you want to talk about those numbers with Pete, get with Pete, because we already moved past the financials. Right now, we're into the water conservation measure, so we're not going to go back and forth, because that just kind of messes up, I'll say, the flow of the meeting. So if you want to ask those questions, please get a hold of Pete after the meeting. I'd appreciate it.
Actually, the next item, Danny, is starting to talk about
Yeah.
budget stuff, so
Right.
if that's
If you want to hold
item.
your, into the next budget questions, because we're going to talk about budgets for next year, and we'll try to clarify a little bit for you then, if that's okay.
It's not a budget, it's been a check writing.
I understand.
We're past that.
Yeah, so but we can try to squeeze and answer your question, how it's done. And
So I can bring it up for the next meeting.
Yeah. Or you can come and talk with Pete, and he can explain to you
No,
what.
I want it in the meeting. I want the people know what service we get from Kennedy James Consultants. If we have Tampa
Okay.
Community Solutions.
Okay, we'll answer that question at the next meeting.
I can give her a copy of the contract. I mean, that's, all of the payments to them are made under the contract.
My question is, if we have two companies, consultants?
It's a different, that's an engineering consulting firm. They do the technical engineering consulting for the well project. So they're specific. They don't do the management consulting. They do the engineering consulting for the project that's reimbursed by the grant.
So if you do the manager consultant, what you're talking about the repair, how do you know about engineering and energy repair on the pumps and what it has to be done?
Yes.
Yeah, for the projects that we're talking about here, these, because of their costs and their long-term nature, they would go through engineering. Anyway, I'm trying to address I'm trying to address the question as it relates to engineering for this. We would be either doing engineering through our district engineer, if that is something that they can do, or we would be, if it's a bigger project like the intake tubes or something, that would likely go out to an engineering firm that was qualified now. So, is there, as far as the status, this is really a rough and dirty status of where we are. You see that some of them are completed and some of them still remain. And some of the projects we were proposing, like each one of the stations had the installation of some protection for the electrical controls. And we thought in our discussion that it would be best to pull those out as a separate individual project and have a single contract with an electrical contractor firm that would come out and do all of the sites, because they all need it, rather than it being a number of small contracts. So anyway, that's just a proposal. You'll see this again as it gets going.
Right.